Pilates. Pilates. It's just Pilates, bro. What up? It's season 1, episode 6. Today is Friday. Fridays are always a pleasure. Nobody doesn't like Fridays. It's the weekend, and I mean, unless you gotta work Saturdays, then Fridays really are no pleasure at all. But I mean, hey, no classes on the weekends if you're, smart. Um, However, today's been pretty chill, so I've been digging today. Didn't really do much except for a finance class today. And played some basketball. Got hit in the mouth. Was like, yup, skirt, done with that for a minute. And then headed home. I got an appointment to go to at 3:45. Then I'm going out to dinner with my fam and my girlfriend. And then we're going to wrap up the night that way. So, yeah, but however, I want to talk about a couple things. And I want to kind of talk about like charts pretty much. Not like boring charts, but like the best social media, the best fast food, like the best of stuff. If you catch my drift. Like, for example, what's the best board game? Obviously Clue. No, it ain't Monopoly. So stuff like that. But honestly, all the social medias are like the same. The same stuff everywhere. There's no new nothing. I mean, Vero's come out a couple years ago, but it ain't coming out to anything. Facebook pretty much owns all the social medias. It owns like Instagram. Um, Facebook owns obviously Twitter. Or no. Twitter owns Twitter, but Facebook owns Facebook. It owns Instagram. It owns Facebook Messenger. It owns quite a bit of stuff. Like a lot of the games that you play on your phone, operated by Facebook, owned by Facebook. Um, Facebook is the quote-unquote king social media platform because Facebook technically includes Instagram. However, I love Twitter. Twitter's great. Lots of fun on Twitter, lots of conversation going on Twitter. A lot of the stuff on Facebook is local. A lot of the stuff on Twitter is national or international. And the conversation on Twitter is far greater than the conversation on Facebook. And by the conversation, I mean like, you have threads on Twitter and stuff, and on Facebook it's just local posts and stuff like that. So yeah, social media, there's really no question about it. Facebook is the king platform, 100%. However, with like streaming, like social media and stuff like that includes like Twitch and YouTube and Facebook Live even, and those are pretty much the main streaming platforms. As far as gaming platform, like streaming games and stuff like that goes, because that is actually pretty big right now. As far as that goes, YouTube gaming is definitely getting up there, but I feel like Twitch is still like the number one. Facebook Live is, still just starting with the gaming part of it. I know Darkness149 is pretty much the biggest Facebook gamer at this point. And that's only like 70,000 following. So yeah, Facebook Live is definitely starting up. It's gonna be the future yet again. Facebook is the king platform for pretty much everything, so they're gonna amplify it. It's gonna blow up. But yeah, YouTube gaming is still below Twitch. Twitch probably still has a greater view count. I don't know the exact stats on that, but I'm gonna assume Twitch on the best streaming platform for games. The best phone brand. That is going to be very controversial between Apple and Android. Nobody's going to say Windows. I mean, some will if you're excessive Windows lovers, but PC is all pretty much I use for Windows unless I use Microsoft Edge, on my iPhone. But I'm an Apple guy. As far as sales go, it's super close. It's back and forth between if it's going to be Apple or Android. I see Androids all over. If you have an Android phone, the only good quality you see with Android is other Android phones. Like you can't quote unquote cross platform. So like if I Snapchat somebody with an Android phone, it's gonna come up looking like crap on my iPhone because I don't know if it's just the way the Android software takes pictures or what. But when somebody sends me a Snapchat with an Android phone, even like the Galaxies, like the nice ones and stuff, it just comes back looking like absolute dump. So I don't know. I'm all Apple for sure, like 100%. My brother's Android though, and I don't understand. I think Android's poopy. But I'll stick with my iPhone 8 Plus. Thank you. Best fast food. I just watched the movie Supersized, and McDonald's actually still like I love McDonald's. I'm not wrong, with McDonald's. It's my favorite fast food for sure. Either that or Panda Express. Panda Express is amazing, but on the the platform or on the panel or spectrum of nationwide, international, and everything. McDonald's has so many restaurants. They're in like 100 different countries on 6 different continents. Burger King is not, I mean, Burger King's probably half that. Wendy's is probably just national. I don't think Wendy's is international. Well, past, North America with like, Canada, and I don't think Wendy's is um, in the Middle Eastern areas yet, at least. But I could, don't quote me on that. I have no clue. I'm pretty naive. But honestly, from my spectrum and like my opinion, I think McDonald's is number one. But that's personal opinion because honestly, a bunch of my buddies love Wendy's. They think Wendy's is the bomb diggy for some reason. Apparently the Baconator and crap. But I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't have cheese or any of that anyways. I can have bacon, but like I just don't like it. But a lot of that Wendy's stuff is just all cheesy, and it's a no from me. There's a lot of things you could say. What's the best of? What's the best of this? The best of that? One of my favorite things is NBA. So like, who's the best in the NBA? My favorite in the NBA is the Detroit Pistons because I love the Pistons. Those are my boys. But the Houston Rockets are by far the best. They're winning the title this year, definitely. But one that isn't talked about too much is what's the best browser. So like Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox. There's probably a couple more as well. But I would say they're all equally, good. Is just preference. I prefer when I'm doing stuff with like this brand itself, I use Microsoft Edge. However, when I'm just doing like stuff with my class, I use Google Chrome. So I use Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge interchangeably, just depending on my day. I don't use Mozilla Firefox. I just don't find it that amazing. I find it kind of complex, if you will. It's not really user friendly in my opinion. However, I don't really care what browser I'm using, and I'm sure that's likewise for a bunch of different people. I'm sure people don't care if they're using the Safari or if they're using Microsoft Edge or whatever. But I what the heck is a Linux though? Like, what does Linux use for browsers and crap? Like, I know like PC's default browser like would be Microsoft Edge. Google Chromebooks would be Google or like stuff like that. But like Linux, what does Linux use? They're probably like the Mozilla Firefox people, or like what browser would that use? I don't even know what the heck a Linux is or what the heck a Linux computer even looks like. But I know they run programs for Linux. But I don't think I've ever seen a Linux computer in my life. Like, what the heck is a Linux operating system computer? I feel like that's just some coding world thing that I'm just not in part of. I feel like people would pursue or perceive me as a techie person, but really, like I am, but I'm not at the same time. You know what I mean? Like to an extent, like yeah, I got the basics and crap, and like I can do some complex things in some areas, but like I'm not a techie guy. Like if you hand me a Nintendo Switch, I'm gonna be mind blown. Like I don't understand. If you hand me freaking like a personal computer, like a PC, I'm gonna be able to find my way around that pretty easily. An iPhone, find myself way around that pretty easily. When you get into like the servers and stuff like that, like proxy servers and all that stuff on computers, I get lost. So the other day I was just trying to get on Microsoft Edge or whatever, and I was trying to get on Twitch, and it said like, "Yo, your proxy server's rejected," and it was apparently on like manual, and I didn't know how to fix it. And the troubleshoot was just like, "Yo, your proxy server's messed up," and I was lost as crap. Like I don't even know what that means. Like if I'm even explaining this right, someone who does understand is probably laughing at me right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get the whole world of proxiness. The computer world can get pretty complicated. But like when I was building my website for my brand and stuff, I was just chilling with it. I was having fun because I'm doing it through Weebly or whatever, and I'm not. It is a Weebly domain, so like it's still .weebly.com or whatever. So like I was told that it was supposed to be easy anyways, and I've built the website before. However, I took like a lot of time into this one, a lot of effort before I launched it, and I'm still like revamping it and publishing it as I go. Like right now, I could pull up my website and it'd be easier for me to talk about it. So when I was building it though, I was going through and I was messing a lot with fonts making sure I liked what the fonts looked like, what the colors looked like, making sure like the italicized, like under this one picture here it says I'm 18 years old, I'm in the United States Navy in order of quote unquote the Sam Hildebrand, end quote. And like I wanted it to look really professional, really perfect. It's just the Weebly at the bottom, powered by Weebly, kind of ruins the effect, man. Wish that part wasn't there. But it looks super professional, so that's what I was going for. And I built this using Microsoft Edge browser. So I went on Weebly.com and I built this using Microsoft Edge's browser. I didn't use Google Chrome, which most people apparently said it was best, but I don't know. I just preferred, Microsoft Edge. But that also brings up another, the best. What's better, Wix, Weebly, freaking Google websites. There's so many different things you can build a website with. And I prefer Weebly, and I've tried Wix, didn't like it. Google websites or whatever was just really complex in my opinion. I was like, yep, out of my league, scooted out of that as well. So there's really personal preference. If you're a complex person, maybe you'll use the complex thing instead of Weebly, which is the basics and stuff like that. But then on the podcast side, if you're a podcaster yourself, you would know, hey, what you would know your own opinion on the best, podcasting platform. What's the best place to put your RSS feed through? Because ultimately mine's on iTunes, but all my monetization and stuff comes from Spreaker itself. So if you're listening to this on Spreaker, you probably heard a 30-second ad pre-roll, and you're going to have to hear a 30-second ad post-roll because I'm trying to also, earn some money here. And I am 18, so like, just so you guys know, I'm not just trying to rob you guys or nothing like that. So that's a quick word on that. But yeah, I chose Spreaker. I tried Podbean to begin with, so I didn't just choose Spreaker and run with it. I did my research and I did try Podbean. Like I looked up Podbean and I went on Podbean and I made an account and everything. But I just didn't feel as if Podbean was optimized for me. I didn't like how Podbean was set up. I don't even know if I can still get in my account. I can try real quick while I'm recording this. However, when I learned about Spreaker, I learned about Spreaker actually through Spotify because I was trying to figure out how I could get my podcast on Spotify. And I can't even get into the Podbean. And I want to know how to get it on Spotify. And Spotify was like, if you use it through such and such and such brands, do this. If you don't, use this. And I saw Spreaker there, and I saw a couple others, and I went to Spreaker's website, set mine up, and I was like, wow, this is really stuff, super user-friendly. I can just go to On Air Talent. It's a super inexpensive subscription. I can do up to 45-minute shows, up to 100 hours worth of shows. And after, I finish up my 100 hours, I can upgrade. And so I was like, that's super good. I can do over 100 shows, over 100 episodes, and this is definitely going to get me started. By the time I get back from basic training, I'll probably upgrade that, expand my episodes, expand my horizons, and further go into depth into the podcasting world, get more complex with the brand, bring in more people and stuff like that. But yeah, I chose Spreaker because I thought it was, in my personal opinion, the best. So there's that. Moving on. The best PC or the best like brand, what would that be? In my opinion, building your own is personally the best. I wouldn't want to, or have somebody build it, pay to build it, whatever you want to do. I don't like to go into the store, be like, oh, look, an HP computer, buy it. Some people do that. They go in there and buy it, and then they would build off of it, which is super cool. Like, I would do that as well, go and build off of a computer that's pre-made. However, I had a lot of fun building this with my buddy, this computer that I'm using now. I built mine with parts of a Newegg in Amazon and wherever I could find the cheapest parts at. But if I paid full price for this computer, it would have been way over my budget. But since I built it myself and got the parts for a really good price, it was in my budget, and it worked really well, It was what I wanted. So that's that. So yeah, there's a lot of different opinions on what the best of everything is. What would your opinions be? Did you agree with any of mine? Did you disagree strongly, or do you just not have a preference? Because a lot of people just don't even have a preference. And that's obviously you're entitled to whatever opinion you have. But if you go on our brand website, I'd like to do a little self promo again, like I've been doing throughout this whole entire thing with my brand. So I am the owner of the Sam Hilda brand, which is who this podcast is under, is the Sam Hilda brand. And under that is 3 shows currently. There is Let's Be Opinionated, which is this show currently. Detroit Madness, which is another show that was just re-put back onto iTunes after being revamped a little bit. And Day by Day, which is taken on by Aaliyah Davidson, who is the newest team member of the Sam Hilda brand. And she launched that whole show yesterday. And it is currently just on Spreaker to see what kind of feedback is received from that. And maybe we'll go on further and put it on iTunes. However, her RSS feed was already accepted by iTunes, so just whenever we're ready, we can put it on iTunes if we want to. However, there's a launching August 2018, like I've mentioned in previous episodes, is Navy Basic Training, a show that I'm going to be doing. I don't know if I've mentioned exactly what it is or I've tried to hide it, but yeah, there's that as well. So I'd like to thank the post and pre-roll for a second. Thank you for the ads. Thank you for listening to them if you do. If you don't listen to them, I'd appreciate it if you do. It helps me out, helps me fulfill and get little bits of money that I can from you just listening to a 30-second ad. And I limited it to 1 ad on pre-roll and 1 ad on post-roll to 30 seconds maximum. So it's only 1 minute out of your day plus the time you took to listen to this episode, which I appreciate very much if you've listened to it this far. And if you haven't listened to it this far, see you later. Hopefully you go to the next episode. However, we're gonna wrap up this episode short here today. I have more episodes to record. I'm gonna record another Let's Be Opinionated episode right after this one, so there will be more to come up this week or the following week. And as well, I'm gonna record a Detroit Madness episode. So lots to do, lots to get done, and all in a short period of time. So I appreciate you guys very much for listening. Excuse me, not watching. Don't get ahead of ourselves here. I appreciate it all you guys for listening in, and hopefully you guys have some opinions on the best of whatever category. If you guys like this topic, and there are many more topics below in past episodes and in future episodes, there will be much more to talk about, and many more things to touch on. Very soon we will be having another guest on the show. His name is Clayton. He will be joining me on Let's Be Opinionated possibly tomorrow for a show that would be posted possibly next week. If that gets postponed, I'll let you guys know. However, pretty exciting stuff to get some more guests on the show because my co-host of Let's Be Opinionated, Dakota, is currently on a break. He's on a hiatus from the podcasting because he is doing stuff with school, and that's okay. However, I appreciate it. I will catch you guys soon. I hope you guys tune in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this and enjoy the post-roll advertisement. Please listen to it. It helps me out a ton. Thank you guys very much. Peace.